Namaste, Javins. Today we'll be talking about attention and perception. So let us start with attention. Attention is a term given to perceptual processes that select certain inputs from inclusion in our conscious experience or awareness at any given time. The characteristics of attention are the process of attention divide a field of experience into a focus and a margin. Events that we perceive clearly are at the focus of experience. Other items are perceived dimly. We may be aware of their presence, but only vaguely so. These items are in the margin of attention. For example, we can consider here a football game. We are aware of the tangle of players at the scrimmage line and of the activity of the blockers. It is the ball carrier and its movement that stand out. And your attention is focused on him. At the same time, sensory inputs are coming in from your cold feet, from your stomach as a result of the last hot meal you ate, and from the fellow behind you who is smoking a cigarette. The crowd is also cheering. While the play is going on, you are probably not aware of any of these sensory inputs that are in the margin of your attention. Only when the play is finished or time is called, you do perceive how cold your feet are, how queasy your stomach feels, what strong smell the cigarette has, and how noisy the crowd is. So, we can use the concept of filtering over here. Since we cannot process all the information in our sensory channels, we filter or partially block out some inputs while letting other through. Like imagine yourself at a party standing between two groups of people who are simultaneously carrying on two different conversations. You may be able to pick up some of both conversation at the same time. That is known as parallel processing. But you will probably find that one or the other conversation is at the focus of your attention at any given moment. It is hard to pay attention to more than one set of inputs at a time. Thus, you will more likely to do what is called serial processing, that is attending to one set of inputs and then the another. In the filter models of attention, inputs in the margin shift to the focus when various attention-getting features of the environment are present in the filtered input. Such attention seekers include intense stimuli and novel stimuli. Like you are still between the two conversations of the last paragraph, you will probably switch your attention to the filtered out conversation if voices are raised in this conversation. Now, these filter models of attention differ with respect to where the blocking occurs in the sensory channels. Other information processing theories of attention are based on the idea of processing capacity. And these theories are based on the assumption that we have a limited mental capacity for processing incoming information, and therefore we cannot deal with all the sensory input at once. Then we have a term called as plasticity, which refers to moldability of perception. Special situations such as prolonged changes in sensory input can modify the ways information is processed in generating perceptions of the world around us. We have visual deprivation, which is the restriction of visual input in some fashion. Then we have nature and nurture. Nature refers to innate or inborn processes that influence behavior and perception, while nurture refers to learning and, in general, the effects of environment on behavior and perception. Theorists who argue for the importance of nature and perception are called nativists, whereas those who argue for nurtures are known as empiricists. Then we have perceptual learning. Leno Gibson has defined perceptual learning as an increase in the ability to extract information from the environment as a result of experience or practice with the stimulation coming from it. Perceptual learning can be considered as a variety of cognitive learning. Now there were arguments of a school of perceptual thought in late 1940s called the New Look in Perception, which focused on impact of emotion, motivation, and personality on perception. New Look researchers were also interested in applying psychodynamic ideas to perception. The idea is that people's motive will to some extent affect the ways in which they organize and perceive the test stimuli. And a psychologist may be able to infer from the perceptions that motives are dominant in the particular person. Next, we'll be talking about perception. It refers to the way the world looks, sounds, feels, tastes, or smell. Or we can say, in other words, that perception can be defined as whatever is experienced by a person. Thus, our experience of the world arises from sensory input plus the ways we process that sensory input. We have different forms of perception, and form perception refers to the organization of sensations into meaningful shapes and patterns. Like Gestalt principle is there, which translates loosely to whole or form. Then we have depth perception, which is the perceptual organization of a depth or distance perception. Then we have motion perception, where the perception of movement in the objects is seen. So attention and perception go together, because whatever we perceive, we pay attention to it. We have disorders of perception also, where that is illusion and hallucinations. Illusion is when there is no specific object present, but we perceive it as living, like when you are in a dark room and a overcoat is present and you perceive it as a human being, or you perceive a rope in dark as a snake. Whereas hallucinations is where the object is not present, but still you can feel or see that. Whereas in illusions, the object is present, but you perceive it as something else. So we have hallucinations, auditory hallucination, olfactory hallucinations, visual hallucinations. And this is the end of the session, attention and perceptions. I hope you understood this session, and if you have any doubts, you can comment in the inbox. And I hope you understood this, and this session is powered by Digital 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women University. Thank you.